Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. Imagine a land where a ruthless king rules with an iron fist, a man who calls himself God, a man before whom people tremble, a man whose single command decides who lives and who dies. This was Pharaoh of Egypt, the greatest tyrant of his time. In this land of oppression, an innocent baby is born, a baby destined to grow up and stand against the might of Pharaoh, a baby who would one day split the sea with his staff. This is not just a story of the past, this is the story of faith against arrogance, truth against falsehood, light against darkness. This is the timeless story of Prophet Musa, peace be upon him. Long ago, in the land of Egypt, there lived a man who ruled with absolute power. His name was Pharaoh. He was not just a king, he was a tyrant, a man who had thrown himself in arrogance to such an extent that he called himself God. His throne was built on fear, his crown was stained with the blood of innocents, and his empire was fueled by the slavery of the children of Israel, the descendants of Prophet Yaqub, peace be upon him. Pharaoh was haunted by a dream. In that dream, he saw a fire coming from the land of Israel that consumed his palace, his throne, and his kingdom. Disturbed and terrified, he called his priests, his fortune tellers, and his magicians. They told him, "A boy will be born among the Israelites who will grow up to destroy your empire." Pharaoh's heart filled with terror, but instead of humbling himself, he grew even more arrogant. He issued one of the most brutal commands in the history. Every male child born to the Israelites must be killed. His soldiers stormed homes, tearing newborns from the arms of mothers, slaughtering them without mercy. Cries of pain filled the land, and a river of tears ran through every household of Bani Israel. Fear spread like a shadow, and mothers wept even before giving birth, knowing what fate awaited their sons. It was during this time of terror that a blessed child was born. His name was Musa, peace be upon him. His mother held him close, trembling with fear. She knew that if Pharaoh's soldier discovered him, he would be killed. But at that very moment, Allah inspired her heart. A whisper of divine reassurance touched her soul. Nurse your child, but when you fear for him, place him into the river. Do not fear and do not grieve, for we will return him to you and make him among the messengers. With a trembling heart but unshakable faith, the mother of Musa placed her newborn son in a wooden basket. The night was dark, the Nile River flowed silently, and she lowered the basket into the water. Her tears fell into the river as she watched it carry her baby away. Imagine the pain of a mother letting go of her child, trusting only in Allah's promise. The basket drifted across the currents, unseen by soldiers, untouched by harm. The will of Allah was guiding it. And where did it end up? At the palace of Pharaoh himself. Pharaoh's wife, a noble woman named Asiya, saw the basket being pulled from the river. When she opened it, she found a baby lying peacefully, his innocent eyes shining with light. Instantly, her heart melted. She cradled the child in her arm and said to Pharaoh, "This child may bring us joy. Do not kill him. Perhaps he will benefit us, or we may adopt him as a son." Allah had planned everything. The very man who wanted Musa dead would raise him under his own roof. But there was one problem. The baby refused to drink milk from any nurse. Dozens of women were brought, but Musa turned away each time. Then, by Allah's wisdom, Musa's own sister, who had secretly followed the basket along the river, appeared at the palace and said, "Shall I guide you to a woman who can nurse him and take good care of him?" She brought them to Musa's real mother. And so, by Allah's promise, Musa was returned to the very arm that had let him go, Pharaoh's palace. paid her to nurse her own son, while the tyrant remained unaware that the child he feared most was growing safely in his own house. This was the beginning of a story that would change history. Years passed, and the child who once floated helplessly in the Nile grew into a strong, noble young man. Musa, peace be upon him, was raised inside the palace of Pharaoh, dressed in royal garments, surrounded by luxury, and educated in the ways of the kingdom. Yet, despite living in the house of a tyrant, Musa's heart remained pure. He was different, he carried himself with dignity, spoke with wisdom, and possessed a sense of justice that no luxury could corrupt. The palace guards respected him, the servants admired him, and even the common people of Bani Israel looked to him with hope. But Musa never forgot his true people, the Israelites. Every day he saw them being whispered forced to carry heavy stones and treated as slaves. His heart ached for them. Deep inside, he knew he was not one of Pharaoh's people, but one of the oppressed. One hot afternoon, Musa walked through the city street. The sun was burning, the air was heavy with dust, and the cries of slaves echoed between the walls. Suddenly, he came upon a fight. One man from the Israelites was struggling against an Egyptian from Pharaoh's people. The Israelites, weak and beaten, called out to Musa for help. Musa rushed forward, his heart burning with anger at the injustice. In the heat of the moment, Musa struck the Egyptian with his fist. The man collapsed instantly, lifeless. Musa froze. He had not intended to kill him, but his single blow had taken a life. His heart sank with shock. He whispered to himself, "This is the work of Satan. Indeed, he is a clear enemy and misleader." Fear crept into his heart. The city whispered about the incident. The next day, while Musa walked cautiously, he again saw the same Israelites fighting another man. When the Israelites called Musa for help once man, Musa rebuked him. "You are clearly a troublemaker." Before Musa could act, a man rushed towards him, panting, his face pale with urgency. He whispered, "O Musa, the chiefs are plotting to kill you. Leave the city immediately. I am truly giving you sincere advice." Musa's heart raced. The news spread like wildfire. Pharaoh's council had decided Musa must die. The same palace that once protected him had now turned against him. Without delay, Musa slipped out of the city, glancing back at the towering walls of Egypt. His feet carried him across the burning sands, his throat dry, his body exhausted. He had no food, no water, no companion, only faith in Allah. As he walked into the wilderness, he prayed, "My Lord, save me from the wrongs doing people." Step by step, mile after mile, he crossed the scorching desert, fleeing from the shadow of Pharaoh's wrath. His destination was unknown, but Allah was guiding his every step towards the land of Madian, where a new chapter of his story was about to begin. Musa walked alone through the endless desert. The hot sand burned his feet, the scorching sun blazed above, and the thirst dried his lips. Each step away from Egypt was a step away from danger, yet also a step deeper into uncertainty. He had no food, no shelter, no companions, only faith carried him forward. Days turned into nights, and nights into days. His clothes grew dusty, his body weakened, but his heart remained strong. As he walked, he whispered prayers to his Lord. "My Lord, guide me to straight path." Finally, after a long and exhausting journey, Musa reached the land of Madian. It was a peaceful valley, green and fertile. Unlike the burning deserts he had crossed, he made his way to well where shepherds were watering their flocks. Strong men crowded around, pushing and throwing to draw water for their animals. As Musa observed, his eyes fell upon two young women standing aside with their sheep. They were unable to approach the well because of the men. Their animals were thirsty, yet they waited patiently, unable to compete with the rough crowd. Musa, though tired and hungry, could not ignore injustice. His heart of compassion moved him. He walked up to them and asked gently, "What is the matter with you?" They replied, "We cannot water our flock until the shepherds finish, and our father is an old man." Understanding their difficulty, Musa stepped forward. Despite his exhaustion, he pushed through the crowd of men with strong arms. He drew water from the well and filled the trough the woman's sheep. His strength surprised the shepherds, but Musa worked silently, without pride, seeking only Allah's pleasure. When he finished, he stepped aside and sat down under the shade of a tree. His body ached, his stomach growled with from hunger, but his heart turned to his Lord. In that moment of weakness, Musa raised his hand and prayed, "My Lord, truly I am in need of whatever good you would send down to me." He asked not for wealth, not for comfort, but simply for Allah's mercy. Soon after, one of the two young women returned, walking shyly towards him. With modesty, she said, "My father invites you so that he may reward you for watering our flock." Musa, weary yet grateful, followed her to her home. There he met their father, a wise, righteous man known as Prophet Shoaib, peace be upon him. Shoaib welcomed Musa into his house, offered him food, and listened to his story. Musa told him about Pharaoh, about the incident in Egypt, and about his escape. Shoaib comforted him and said, "Do not fear, you have escaped from the wrongdoing people." The daughters of Shoaib admired Musa's strength and honesty. One of them said to her father, "O my father, hire me. Truly the best one you can hire is strong and trustworthy." Shoaib then offered Musa something even greater, marriage to one of his daughters, on the condition of that Musa worked for him for 8 years, or 10 if he wished. Musa accepted with gratitude, and so Musa found not only safety but also family, honor, and a new life. He became a shepherd tending flocks in the valley of Madian. For years he lived in the peace, far from Pharaoh's oppression. But this was not the end of Musa's journey. It was only preparation, for Allah was shaping him, teaching him patience, responsibility, and humility. The lonely shepherd of Madian was destined to become the prophet who would stand before the greatest tyrant of his time.